now we are starting with the most important part of compatibility. Basically, the most important part of inter-aspects of the synastry when we interlay one chart on top of the other. And if you do not remember much from all my 8 or whatever videos are of this relationship course, I want you to remember this technique, and it will serve you so well to check if two people will have pull towards each other. If two people basically have this thing which attracts them towards each other and makes them, seals the relationship in a sense. And this is so fundamental and so important. It's the easiest way to check basically. And it's about checking and comparing the ascendant sun and moon of one person with the ascendant sun and moon of the other. And this can be inter-aspects. Let me explain what it means. These are the three fundamental parts that make a person. The ascendant is how he approaches life or anything, what his personality, his initial personality. The sun is his true inner self, his true role that he has to play in life. And the career as well, it indicates, and the goals and the inspiration. The moon is the character that one shows when he is with the closest one, the needs that someone has emotionally. The most important, factor, if you can live with someone or no, is the moon for men or women. How compatible you are to live with someone. But I want you to check first. Let's say this is the female and the male, ascendant, sun and moon signs. I want you to go to the planetary detail table of both people, and let's look at Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. She's the female, her ascendant is in Cancer. Here it is. Oh, write it like that. Cancer, her sun is in Gemini, and her moon is in Aries. Then go to the man, Brad Pitt, and let's see where his ascendant is. His ascendant is in Sag. His sun is in Capricorn. No, his sun is also in Sag. His moon is in Capricorn. And his sun is in Sag. You see them from the planetary detail table. And I want you to see if any of the woman's sun, ascendant, or moon is the same sign as any of the man's sun, ascendant, or moon. First, this is the first step, or any of the opposite sign. And these are the pairs of signs that always stay opposite each other. Aries. You can see them here as well. When you look at this chart and you see someone's sun is in Sagittarius, the sign opposite is always Gemini. Someone's sun is in Pisces, the sign opposite is always Virgo. It's written in little words, in little, But here I'm going to give you the pairs anyway. Aries with Libra are opposite. Taurus with Scorpio opposite. Gemini with Sagittarius. Cancer with Capricorn. Leo with Aqua. And Virgo with Pisces. So these are the opposing pairs. So I want you to compare if the female or one of the partner has the same, for example, his ascendant is the same as his sun or his, and in their case we can see that they do not have anything which is the same. She has ascendant in Cancer, he has nothing in Cancer. She has sun in Gemini, he has nothing in Gemini. She has moon in Aries, he has nothing in those. But look what he has. Her sun is in Cancer, her ascendant is in Cancer, and his sun is in Sagittarius. In Capricorn. His moon is in Capricorn. Cancer and Capricorn are opposites. So her ascendant is, her moon sits opposite from, his moon sits opposite from her ascendant. We see one connection here. The sun is in Gemini. The opposite sign of Gemini is Sagittarius. We have another connection. Her sun sits opposite from his ascendant. Also, her sun sits opposite from his sun. So there is both you know, her sun sets both opposite from his ascendant and from his sun. And then her moon does not correlate here with anything with his ascendance on the moon, because Aries is across Libra and he has nothing in Aries. And we always want to check the same sign or the sign opposite. Because if someone's ascendant, for example, falls, is in the same sign as my moon, for example, immediately there is recognition between those two people. One person feels the moon very much has the same emotional needs as what the other presents physically and his personality, the ascendant. Immediately there is connection energetically there. Or say another's ascendant falls on my sun. So partner's ascendant is the same as my sun. So my core personality, which is the sun, vibrates and is the same as the other's ascendant, which is how one projects out themselves outwardly initially. So again, there is immediately connection. If someone's sun is the same as someone's ascendant, let me write this in particular, sun equals someone's moon. This is a really, really powerful compatibility factor. This has like the strongest point in any astrology. Compatibility, when the sun of one and the moon of the other are in the same sign, because the needs of one person support the role of life, the path in life of the other person, support the more proactive side. So such a person, especially if it's the woman's moon, who is the same as the sun of the man, should be very supportive in his goals and career. She'll be very comforting and like someone who sits behind him and supports him, and because the moon is receptive and supportive and encouraging towards his goals, which is his sun. Or if it's the opposite, the woman's sun and the man's moon, okay, he'll be supportive for her goals in life, for her true character to come out. The sun is her true personality and character and strength, for her light to shine. Because the moon is the supportive role, the maternal supportive role. So whoever plays the role of the moon in a relationship, they will support the other person more, but they'll feel very comfortable with each other. This is one of the first they call them soulmate relationship combinations. So it's fantastic when you have a male sun and a woman's moon. It's very strong. But also a male's or like a woman's sun and a male's moon, cross-reference between these two. But also, moon and ascendant is very powerful. Moon is also very powerful. Ascendant with sun is very powerful. All those three cross-referencing each other with another person makes very, very strong attraction towards each other. This is what creates the cohesion for the two to meet at these levels. And look, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, they have three such connections. Whether it's in the same sign or the opposite is just as powerful. Definitely I've seen both. And why the opposition? Why do we consider the opposition? Because the opposition, is the sign of relation, is the aspect of relationships. Opposite. You're one, the other one is opposite. So it's like a reflecting image of yourself. So if someone has a planet like the ascendant or the sun, opposite your sun, or opposite your ascendant, opposite your moon, you immediately feel drawn to them, because opposites attract. You kind of balance each other. Even if it's, sometimes there will be more tension, if it's more oppositions, like in the case of Angelina and Brad Pitt, they're connected through oppositions. Still, three of those points are there, but they're connected through oppositions, so they can be more like more friction to between them. But through this friction, they partner, they complete each other. Let's say like that. They complete each other. When it's through the conjunctions, where the sun and the moon is the same sign, or ascendant and moon the same sign, they kind of feel more like they have the same point of view. They feel like the same person. They feel like looking from the same lenses. With the opposition, they kind of challenge each other, but because of challenging and balancing each other, they come to a harmonious and quite attractive energy around them. Because opposites attract, as we remember. So look, they have three of those. I mean, I've seen people get into relationship even having one of those. Like, for example, someone having ascendant in Libra and the other person having moon in Libra sitting in the ascendant in the same sign. This immediately, if you have one of those three, there are basically quite a few possible, but if you can have the quite different combinations of these. If you have 1 or 2 or 3, when it gets more than 2 of those connecting, then you really have someone they can stay for a long time together. Even if their moon compatibility that we talked about, even if they have some difficulty like karmic rope that we talked about. If you have interconnections between those signs, it can really help overcome some of these misfortunes or difficult moon compatibility that we talked about, and can connect the two people very strongly. Even if on the emotional level they're not so compatible, but something will keep drawing them together because of having the same sign, sun, moon, as the others, ascendant, sun or moon, or opposite sign. So, for example, let me give you another example. My ascendant is in Aqua, my sun is in Aries, and my moon is in Leo. My husband ascendant is in Virgo, his sun is in Aqua, and his moon is in Leo. Look how many cross-references. And we have misfortunes between our moons, so it's not an easy compatibility, but that's why we're together. My ascendant is the same as his sun. My moon is the same as his moon. My moon is opposite as his sun. And my ascendant is opposite of my moon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 connections. Don't forget to do all the connections. So you see, Aquarius, the same. His ascendant, my ascendant, and his sun. Nothing connects my sun with his ascendant or any of the other planets. But my moon is the same as his moon, so 1 point. My moon is opposite from his sun, so 1 point. And my ascendant is opposite from his moon. So you look how many connections. That's why we're together. Like the moment you have 1, 2, or more, wow, there is definitely strong reason for these people to be together, particularly in relationships. You see how it works? If this is one thing you remember about compatibility, you can be great compatibility astrologers. And now let me give you a little bit more. The closer the degree of one's, say, like for example, we say Angelina's ascendant is opposite of Brad Pitt's moon. The closer the degrees are to each other from those cross-referencing ascendants on the moon, the stronger the cohesion, the stronger the attraction, the stronger, even if it's a attraction of tension between each other, it's like they're connected and they cannot disconnect because because it's such strong energetic connection. The closer it is, usually within 10 degrees is the closest. For example, I don't remember the degree of Angelina's ascendant, but I think it was something like 28 degrees. And if Brad's moon is at around 26, 23 degrees, it's very strong opposition, very strong connection. If his moon is, say, at 1 degree or 5 degrees, which is about 23 degrees away from her ascendant, it still counts, but it's not as strong, the cohesion, And if you're trying to compare 3 people together, for example, someone, another man, say a woman is trying to choose between 2 men, and you see strong connections with both men like that, see with which of the 2 she has closer in degrees. For example, if Angelina Jolie is trying to choose from another man, and his sun happens to be in Cancer at the 25th degree, so it's very close in conjunction to her ascendant, while Brad Pitt's moon is at 5 degrees, so it's 25 degrees. So immediately you see there is stronger combination, already stronger, because the degrees are closer with the other person. But you have to check all of them, which conjunctions or oppositions are close. And you can see the degree from the planetary aspect table, you've learned how to do this already in the planetary aspect table. It shows the degree of the ascendants on the moon, and you can judge which ones are the closest aspect. The closer it is, the more fated somehow this person is. Because, if I have my ascendant in Aquarius, it doesn't mean that everyone who have their sun in Aquarius or moon in Aquarius or their sun in Leo or something either in Aquarius or Leo, that I'll be married or drawn to or compatible with all of them. There is already one hook there connecting us, but I'll be much more compatible with those that are much closer to the degree. say their moon is in 2 degrees Aquarius, where my ascendant is so 3 degrees, or or their sun is at 4 or 5 degrees Leo, the opposite. So the closer the conjunction or the opposition, the better it is. So one thing, if you remember compatibility, remember this: cross-referencing ascendants and the moon with the others, counting how many are. Even one connection, if it's very close in degree, one cross-reference between between the two people, the ascendant, sun, and moon, can be very bonding and connecting and create a long relationship. But it has to be very close in degree. But the more cross-references you get, like Angelina and Brad have 3, great. I have 4. I've seen people with 5. The more powerful this connection becomes. And then this is just the first look that you can just overall very quickly take a look at for 2 minutes, and it will tell you a lot. And this is what is observed very often in long-term relationships and marriages or attractions of the opposite sex. Thank you.